Hi, in this video I'll be explaining the 5 common reasons why people suddenly slump and die. My name is Dr. Tolu. I'm a medical doctor, medical content creator, and my videos on health and wellness have been watched by tens of millions of people all over the world, and they've helped many along the way. This is one of those topics that can be very grim and serious, but it's also a topic that needs discussing. So let's get straight to it. Number 1 on my list is sudden cardiac arrest. This is by far the most common cause of sudden collapse and death, especially in adults. Sudden cardiac arrest happens when the heart suddenly stops beating properly. The rhythm becomes chaotic and blood stops flowing properly to the brain and the body. But here's the tricky part. This isn't always due to a heart attack, which by the way is quite different from a cardiac arrest. I'll come back to that later. So like I said, a sudden cardiac arrest is not always due to a heart attack. Sometimes people don't even know that they have a heart problem until it happens. Some of the factors that may increase the risk of someone developing a sudden cardiac arrest includes conditions like coronary artery disease, heart failure, thickening of the heart muscles like we see in cardiomyopathies, or even inherited conditions like long QT syndrome. For those that have a sudden cardiac arrest, quick CPR is necessary and can make the difference between life and death. A defibrillator is also very helpful. You know those devices that in the movies they put on the chest and then they say clear and then they pump it. Yeah, that's a defibrillator. Also, for those who have risk factors that I mentioned earlier, it's important to have regular health checks. The second on my list is heart attack. A heart attack is also known as a myocardial infarction, and it happens when one of the arteries supplying blood to the heart gets blocked, usually by a clot. So let's differentiate between a cardiac arrest and a heart attack. Like I've just said, a heart attack happens when one of the arteries supplying blood to the heart gets blocked. But a cardiac arrest happens when the heart stops beating properly. So in a cardiac arrest, there's a problem with the electrical activity of the heart. But in a heart attack, there's a problem with blood flow. Now, it's entirely possible for a heart attack problem with blood flow to lead to a cardiac arrest problem with electrical activity of the heart, but they don't always go hand in hand, and they are two different things. So back to the topic of a heart attack. When something, usually the blood clots, blocks blood supply to the heart muscle that is supposed to be getting that blood supply, because it's not getting the blood supply anymore, may start to die. While this tissue death can lead to a cardiac arrest, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes the person's heart may just give out due to the damage from the blocked blood supply. Some of the symptoms of a heart attack include chest pain, or for some people it's not really pain, it's more of pressure. There may be some sweating, nausea, shortness of breath. But in some cases, like in those with diabetes or in women, heart attacks can be silent with minimal symptoms. In fact, in women, most notably, a heart attack can actually present with symptoms of indigestion. For a heart attack, those at higher risk include those with high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, diabetes, those who smoke, and those that have a family history of heart disease. So please know your numbers. Check your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels regularly. Oh, and check your blood sugar as well. Eat healthy, move your body, manage your stress levels well, and never ever ignore chest pain. Always have it checked out. The third on my list, pulmonary embolism. This happens when a blood clot travels from another part of the body to the lungs. When it gets to the lungs, it can block blood flow, and if this clot is large enough, it can lead to sudden death. So just think of it like a traffic jam in your lungs. Sorry, not your lungs. Think of it like a traffic jam in the lungs that stops oxygen from reaching the heart and the brain. Some of the warning signs of a pulmonary embolism include sudden shortness of breath, sharp chest pain, especially when trying to take in deep breaths, rapid heartbeats, feeling faint, and in some cases coughing up blood. Now please pay attention to this part. There are some people who are at higher risk of developing pulmonary embolisms, and one of such people are those who find themselves in situations where they don't move often. For instance, those that take long flights where they are seated in the aircraft with minimal movement, and those who might be bedridden in hospitals where they are lying flat on the hospital bed for long periods of time. Pregnant women also have a higher risk of developing developing pulmonary embolisms, as well as those with cancer or clotting disorders, and smokers. So please, if you have any unusual leg pain, leg swelling, or breathlessness, please report it to your healthcare provider ASAP. Number 4 on the list is a stroke. Sudden death can also come from having a massive stroke, especially a stroke that affects the brainstem or a stroke that causes bleeding into the brain. Let me explain. You see, there's a part of your brain called the brainstem. This brainstem controls basic functions that you don't even think about before you do, like your breathing, your heartbeat, even your consciousness. So if this brainstem gets hit, everything, and I mean everything about you, shuts down. So there are 2 main types of strokes to worry about here. The first is a hemorrhagic stroke, which is a stroke in which a blood vessel bursts, and the second is an ischemic stroke, which is a stroke where a blood vessel gets blocked, especially near the brainstem. Remember the brainstem, the one that controls your breathing, your heartbeat, your consciousness? Yeah, that one. Some of the possible signs of a massive stroke include loss of consciousness or sudden collapse, difficulty speaking, facial droop, or even loss of movement or loss of coordination. The biggest risk factor, and please pay attention to this, the biggest risk factor for developing a massive stroke is uncontrolled high blood pressure. Or we can just say high blood pressure, because for the blood pressure to be high, that means it's uncontrolled. So if you or anyone you know has high blood pressure, please get it treated. See your doctor. If your doctor places you on medication, please use your medication. Don't stop using your medication even after your blood pressure becomes normal. Don't alternate it. Don't take it twice a week. Use it as prescribed. You should only stop taking your blood pressure medication if your doctor tells you to. But until then, please use it religiously. High blood pressure is by far the biggest risk factor for a massive stroke. But if your blood pressure is under control with treatment, that considerably reduces your risk of developing a stroke. Other risk factors include smoking, alcohol abuse, uncontrolled diabetes, and aneurysms. For those who don't know what an aneurysm is, one of the best ways to describe it is like, imagine a blood vessel supplying blood. Then one part of the blood vessel is weaker than the rest, and so it swells up almost like it has a blister. That swelling is an aneurysm, and if it bursts, that can cause massive problems for the person. If you want to learn more about how to quickly identify when someone is having a stroke and what to do about it to improve the chances of the person coming out of it alive, I've created a video where I discuss all of this. Just click on the link in the description to watch the video. And the last cause of sudden death that we'll be looking at today, number 5 on the list, is what we call an aortic dissection. Of all the 5 common causes we've looked at, an aortic dissection is the rarest, and it's also the one that many people don't know about, but it might also be the deadliest. Let me explain why. In the human body, there are many blood vessels carrying blood to and from the heart. The biggest of the blood vessels that carry blood from your heart to other parts of your body is known as the aorta. This aorta is so big that if it suddenly develops a tear, that tear can lead to massive internal bleeding and instant collapse. Those who have experienced and survived an aortic dissection describe it as a sudden severe chest or back pain that felt like a tearing or a ripping. This pain may also radiate to the neck and to the abdomen, and it is a medical emergency. Those at higher risk of developing an aortic dissection include, and there are no surprises here, people with uncontrolled hypertension or high blood pressure, those with connective tissue disorders like Marfan syndrome, and pay attention to this, those who lift heavy objects like those at the gym or athletes that have underlying health conditions. So while it is good for you to join the gym, lift weights, it's very good for you. However, if you have an underlying health condition like high blood pressure, please talk to your doctor before you start lifting heavy weights. And when you are at the gym, please avoid ego lifting. That means you go to the gym and then you go for the heaviest weights on day one. No, preferably get a trainer. Start small and build up gradually. Going to the gym is good, but being careless about it is bad. An aortic dissection, like I said earlier, is a medical emergency, and time is everything. In some cases, it may even be mistaken for a heart attack. However, if anyone complains of tearing chest pain and collapses, regardless of what you think it is, whether you think it's a heart attack or an aortic dissection, call emergency services immediately. If you are in a country where emergency services are not very dependable, please rush the person to the hospital as quickly as you can. So guys, that's my list of 5 top causes of people suddenly slumping and dying: sudden cardiac arrest, heart attack, pulmonary embolism, massive stroke, and aortic dissection. Those are the evil 5. Are they scary? Yes. Are they preventable? In many cases, absolutely. For instance, did you know that 80% of stroke cases are preventable? That means if 5 people have a stroke, 4 of those cases could have been prevented. And if you would like me to create a separate video where I talk about the steps you can take to prevent these 5 causes of sudden death or to reduce your risk of developing them, just comment "prevent" in the comment section. If I get a lot of people commenting "prevent," then I will know that you really want this video, and I will shoot the video just for you. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you will definitely enjoy the next one showing now on your screen. Click, watch, and enjoy. Bye.